Now at 9, hundreds gather in Joplin to help raise awareness for Alzheimer's disease. And decades after the Vietnam War, a Kansas airman is finally laid to rest. Plus, Prairie Day comes to life at the George Washington Carver National Monument.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Anthony Saviello. An airman killed in action in the Vietnam War has finally been returned home after 50 years. Technical Sergeant Willis Roselle Hall went missing in action in March of 1968. Today, he was buried in Altoona, Kansas. KOAM's Mitch Adams brings us more.
An airman that was killed in action during the Vietnam War has returned home for a proper burial. Sergeant Willis Roselle Hall was killed on a Vietnamese mountainside in an attack on Lima Site 85.
He was missing in action 57 years ago in 1968, and his information really didn't get unclassified until in the 80s, 1983, and that's when we were really able to know his story, and my Aunt Mary was able to tell her story and even know about where he was missing in action. And later on, over the years, she really fought to find answers.
DNA analysis helped with the identification of the fallen hero. After 50 years, the hope of recovering Willis seemed lost, but the family never gave up, especially Willis's wife, Mary. She passed away before getting to see her husband's return.
Even though she passed away, she knew someday he would be found, and next to her, on her gravestone, his name is there, and he finally gets to be buried next to her.
Surrounded by the embrace of family, friends, and community, Sergeant Hall was buried with military honors, and the family finally gets the closure they were looking for.
We just are amazed that the military and first responders showed up the way they did, and it really solidifies never give up. We live in an amazing country. This should give us hope about the United States of America and the country we live in, and it just brings honor back to my Uncle Willis.
Reporting in Wilson County, Kansas, Mitch Adams, KOAM News.
According to the DPAA, Hall's name is inscribed on the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Wall in Washington, D.C., along with the other fallen soldiers from this attack. The annual Walk to End Alzheimer's took place in Joplin this morning. The walk took place at the Mercy Park, with 200 people participating to help raise awareness and provide support to families impacted by the disease. Officials say over 2,500 people in Jasper County alone suffer from Alzheimer's.
I do think that she knew that she had Alzheimer's. There was a point where she struggled with that. She knew that she was forgetful. The family really struggled with knowing that she had that. I once heard someone say that Alzheimer's is the long goodbye.
Ways to help people with Alzheimer's stay sharp is to hydrate, exercise, and socialize. Well, let's go ahead and check in with meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney.
Temperatures across the region are dropping down into the mid-80s now, so we're still a few degrees warmer than we were yesterday. 85 in Joplin, 87 out there in Nowata. You can see 81 up in Nevada, Stockton, and Lockwood. We are seeing some clouds moving in tonight, so we're going to have pretty cloudy skies tonight and into Sunday, as well as a low pressure system slowly deepens over into our area over the next couple of days. So planning ahead for Sunday, temperatures are a few degrees cooler because of those cloudy skies. So we're going to be cloudy most of the day, again, a few degrees cooler, and winds gusting up to about 20 miles per hour. Now, we don't have a lot of rain chances, but as we go through Sunday night and into Monday, we could see a couple of pop-up storms, which I'm going to be taking a look at coming up shortly.
Lindsay, thanks. Well, Prairie Day was held this afternoon at the George Washington Carver National Monument. Events included performances from Lem Shepard and the Pickers Post Band. Over 31 activities, kids Kids could also get a Junior Rangers badge by learning about these activities based around 1970s America. Guided tours of the birthplace took place throughout the day as well.
It's an event celebrating living on a Missouri prairie. Maybe we want visitors and kids to take away what it maybe was like when George Washington Carver was growing up in the 1870s, especially some of the historic skills, and to also just, learn more about your national parks and about George Washington Carver.
George Washington Carver National Monument preserves the birthplace and childhood home of George Washington Carver. He was a scientist, educator, and humanitarian. Coming up, from containers come crashing down at a California port, and a student's Lego dream becoming reality, and a painter making art in the stables, all in. Take a look at this. But up first, car crashes are still one of the top killers of kids in the U.S. Coming up, we'll have a look at what statistics say and how to keep your children safe. In health news today, September is National Child Passenger Safety Month, and safety advocates are urging all parents to keep young children safe in vehicles by knowing how to install and use car seats correctly. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither has tips from a pediatric emergency medicine doctor about how to make sure your child is in the right seat.
It remains a leading cause of death for youth in the U.S. In 2023, motor vehicle crashes killed more than 1,000 children ages 14 and younger.
Many of the children who are injured or killed in a car crash are either completely unrestrained or using a restraint improperly.
Dr. Manisha Agarwal with Children's Healthcare of Atlanta says the most important thing parents can do to keep children safe on the road is to use the right seat in the right way. First, make sure to buy the right car seat. Very young children need to ride in rear-facing seats as long as possible until they hit the maximum height and weight suggested on the seat. Then, a forward-facing seat is the next step, followed by a booster seat. Check the seat's manual for maximum height and weight limit.
And if you've thrown out the instruction manual, most of these car seat manufacturers have really helpful websites where you can find that manual and figure out what that height and weight limit is.
Next, make sure the seat is properly installed. The Safe Kids Worldwide organization says use either the seatbelt or lower anchors to secure it. Don't use both at the same time. Forward-facing seats need a tether with the seatbelt or lower anchors. A properly fitted harness can also provide protection. Agarwal says a child passenger safety technician found at some places like fire stations can help make sure your seat is set up correctly.
You may be the world's safest driver, but you cannot account for every other human being out there on the road.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
A little later, say hello to a golden star in the making who could be the next Air Bud.
It has been another hot day today in the low 90s. We can go ahead and take a look at our almanac for today. 93, 10 degrees above average, and our low, again, very similar to last night. We only got down to the upper 60s, about 68 degrees. Now tonight, we're actually going to be a couple of degrees warmer just because of our clouds that are rolling in. You can see in southeastern Kansas, northeastern Oklahoma, clouds are going to make their way tonight. No rain, but you can see out just to the east of Springfield, a few clusters of these isolated thunderstorms, but we're going to stay dry for tonight. You can see taking a look at downtown Joplin from the Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex. We do have just mostly cloudy skies going on tonight. Temperatures only dropping down to about 70 to 71 degrees. Now clouds at night actually trap heat on Earth's atmosphere, so we actually stay a couple of degrees warmer versus during the day it's going to be cloudy, so we're a couple of degrees cooler because it blocks the sun's heat. So throughout the day we're going to be still in the low 90s, but only topping off at about 91 degrees and then quickly dropping back down to the 80s and even into the 70s for our overnight low tomorrow night. Now Monday we're back up into the low 90s, 93, 94 on Tuesday, so we're staying just pretty consistent with those warmer temperatures. All right, now as we head through the rest of the evening tonight, again, we had those clusters of showers and thunderstorms out toward the east of us. Now by 6 a.m. on Sunday, cloudy skies for nearly all of us. We do have the chance to see a little sunshine breaking apart, but really we're going to be mostly cloudy all day long. So here we are at 12 o'clock, still just cloudy, no rain yet, but we could see a possible isolated storm just in our far western counties, may not even make it into southeastern Oklahoma, or southeastern Kansas, but we're going to keep an eye on that throughout the afternoon on Sunday. So here we are, 6 p.m. All right. Now continuing through the rest of the night, Sunday night into Monday, still pretty cloudy. We get some clear skies, but we're also going to actually see some rain chances start to creep up by Monday afternoon. So 4 p.m. out on our eastern side, staying east of I-49, we could see a couple of storms before they all start to clear out. Now, that's about a 10-20% chance, not a huge threat there for Monday. And then for the rest of the week until Thursday, we're just looking at pop-up storms because the temperatures are so high in the 90s. We're going to see those typical summertime storms where they pop up, we call them pole storms, and they die down quickly. Our cold front coming in Wednesday and then into Thursday as well, and that's going to finally drop temperatures back down to average by next weekend.
Looking forward to that.
Oh yeah, me too.
Thanks, Lindsay. Coming up next, Pitt State Soccer looks for its second straight win, and Gorillas football is back in the jungle for its home opener. Ben McLeish has those stories and more up next in sports.
Pitt State football is back in the jungle for its 2025 home opener. The Gorillas take on the number 3 team in the country, Grand Valley State. Gorillas taking the field at Carney Smith Stadium for the first time this season, and they would be the ones to strike first. Early second quarter, Austin Schmidt lines it up and nails this field goal attempt from 53 yards. Lakers looking to respond. Andrew Schuster rolling out and throwing on the run, but Spencer Ward leaps and intercepts the pass, becoming the first Gorilla to use the first edition turnover thrown. Final minutes of the half, Jackson Berry connects with Kuran Parchman on the screen, and he goes untouched into the end zone for 6. Gorillas grow their lead to 10-0. Third quarter, Pitt State back in the red zone, goal-to-go situation, and Luke Nigaman takes the direct snap, but it's stripped, and Jamari Budin recovers, taking it 98 yards to the house. After forcing a punt, Grand Valley in the red zone, handing it off to Pascal Jallman, pulling his way up the middle to find Pater. Lakers have their first lead. But here come the Gorillas, going on a long drive, goal-to-go situation. Berry with the give to Zamari Pelode-Gary, who waltzes in for the touchdown. PSU back on top, 17-14. Late fourth quarter, Schuster trying to put together a game-winning drive, throwing on the run, and it's deflected with Reginald King Jr. picking it off, getting his turn on the throne. Gorillas run out the clock and upset the third-ranked Lakers 17-14.
Proud of our guys, man. We've been battling the last 2 weeks, and again, just super proud of them. I think today they finally realized, hopefully what they're capable of. Kind of put a full game together. Obviously some stuff we got to clean up, but I thought their week of preparation was phenomenal. Their mindset coming into the game was phenomenal. And man, to start the season with the schedule we did, that was a big challenge for those guys. That was a lot to put on them as a coach, to put that on them. And I was just, again, a couple bumps in the road early, but just so proud of them, the way they've just continued to fight and the way they responded today and came out and played a good game.
On the pitch, the Lady Gorillas face off against Southern Nazarene, looking to start the season 3-1. The Gorillas clash with the Crimson Storm. Second half, we're still tied. Danae Hobson breaks free into the goal box, but Avery Pyle breaks it up with a sliding tackle. On the subsequent throw-in, Ryan Caruth receives the pass, jukes the defender, stays on her feet, and crosses it into the box, but it's too high and the Gorillas can't capitalize. Here's Ella Kazavillan on the attack. Perfect pass to Hobson, but her shot on goal is deflected by the Crimson Storm. Macy Malik streaking down the field. She has a good look at the net, and it's in. Gorillas take the 1-0 lead, and Malik scores her first goal as a Gorilla on her birthday. Her teammates love it. Happy birthday, Macy. As her goal ends up being the difference in this one, Pitt State takes down the Crimson Storm 1-0. In Division I football, 14th-ranked Clemson takes on Georgia Tech in an ACC clash. The Hornets host the Tigers, looking for a big win. start of the second quarter, Georgia Tech at the Clemson goal line. Jamal Haynes rushes it in for the touchdown, and the Hornets take the 10-0 lead. Clemson at the 1-yard line at the end of the half. Fourth down, Cade Klubnik takes it himself over the top. Put the Tigers on the board. It's 13-7 at half. Same score in the third. Klubnik with the play action. He finds Bryant Wesco Jr. on the slant. Wesco is open field. He hugs the sideline. Wesco takes it all the way for the 73-yard score. Tigers take the lead. Tech retakes the lead later. Clemson is deep in Hornet territory. Klubnik finds Randall, and we're tied with 3 minutes to go. But in the final seconds, Georgia Tech sets up for a 55-yard field goal. Aiden Burr with the game on the line. It's good, and the Hornets upset number 14 Clemson on the walk-off kick.
Man, you just never know what can happen in college football. And going back to Pitt State, first game, this is weird. It's weird for Pitt State to kind of start the season 0-2. First home game, though, they get the win over a ranked team. What do they need to do to continue this momentum?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it was incredibly frustrating to start the season 0-2, but look, number one team on the road to start the season, another ranked team at home, or away, and they come home and they get it done today. I think, they just need to settle in and realize that they are one of the best teams in the MIAA still. It's a really tough start to the season.
For sure.
If they relax and keep things going like they did today, they should be a lock for a top 3 team in the MIAA.
And one thing we don't have this weekend is MSSU. They have a bye week, you were telling me earlier. Mm-hmm. What do they need to do to continue their success?
Yeah, well, they went 2-0 in non-conference play. Very good start, but now they have a big matchup coming up next week against Northwest Missouri, who shut them out last season in a big win for them. So Missouri Southern needs to rely on freshman QB Tillman Martin.
Sure.
He's been incredible. We'll have to see if it translates to MIAA play.
All right. Thanks, Ben. We'll be right back. Not many animals get a shot at stardom, but an Oklahoma therapy dog is proving he is much more than just a good boy. Meet Nemo. He's a 7-year-old golden retriever and one of 30 finalists in the running to become the next Air Bud. His owner, Bridget Hilburn, sent in an audition tape of Nemo back in August where he competed against 4,000 other potential candidates. Nemo may have the upper paw because this wouldn't be his first time in front of a camera. Hilburn says that he has done several commercials with several more on the way. The winner of the Air Bud casting search hasn't been announced just yet, but if Nemo does land the role, he'll be headed to Vancouver, Canada for 11 weeks of filming. That's been our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.